Hey everybody, how are we all doing? Um, I'm happy to be here first of all. It's nice to see Beth and Ben in the chat. Hey guys. But I've got another guest who's already with me, waiting in the wings. I'm absolutely honoured that he's agreed to come on and spend the live with me. And I'm talking about none other than the Stache himself. Welcome, Gerald. I don't have
That's
the
great.
cue cards, but this is my equivalent, so I hope that you enjoy my very limited artistic skills.
I do. And thanks everybody for joining Elemental Cardomancy and Tarot Stash for hashtag SentimentalTarotDecks VR. Oh my gosh, that's fun. That's fun.
Um,
So,
so yeah, Gerald, it's lovely to have you here. So for everyone watching, I can't imagine that there's anyone watching that doesn't actually know Gerald. But for those, just in case there's anyone that doesn't, so Gerald Tarot Stash started as a channel back in January of 2021, the 10th of
yes.
January 2021. But
Hmm.
for those of us that are a bit more in the know, um, Gerald actually had another channel before that that started in October 2020. So Gerald's coming up for, nearly 2 years on TarotTube.
Wow.
Um, as we've already seen, cue card for every single eventuality. I'm sure he's got a cue card that says cue card. If he doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed in him. Yep,
I
hashtag
don't.
overachiever.
Actually, I do have one for what they're called. Somebody Wayne Rich called them, and let's see if I can. I do have them all in a little catalog.
Oh
They're
wow,
alphabetized because this is it. They're called stash tags.
stash tags. There we go. So we'll get stash tags, and we'll probably see them various times throughout the evening.
Yeah.
Um, Gerald is one of the absolute kindest and most down to earth people that we have on YouTube. He makes everybody, and I do mean quite literally everybody, welcome on his channel. He's someone that you always get the same way, no
Mm.
matter what day it is. He's not someone who's a bit bitchy one day and all nicey the other. Guaranteed, you can message Gerald, you can be on a live with Gerald, and he's brand new every single time. A lot of us lovingly refer to Gerald as the Tarot Bicycle. And this is because Tarot Stash is such a social YouTube channel.
Hmm.
So Gerald has a lot of guests on his channel, and he guests on a lot of other channels. So if you make sure, please, if you do nothing else this evening, then please make sure that you pop over to Gerald's channel, hit that subscribe button,
Oh, the
because
notice
you
just
get.
popped.
Oh,
The
did it?
notice
Oh,
just
that's
popped.
good. That's good. Um, you'll get to know lots of amazing people, and you'll get to see a lot of cool decks because Gerald does something called hashtag deck casuals.
Yes.
Cue the cue card, cue the stash tag.
Well,
What's stash
and
tag?
because I was actually like I was like going because I had it with because on Monday I have Joe from Behind the Veil on, and we're talking about the Crow Tarot, Murder of Crow
Oh,
Tarot,
very
which,
nice.
and this is, we're creating controversy with this one, Chris, because
Why?
I have the special edition and she does not. So,
Oh,
which
so
one
is
do
there
you
going to be a bit
have?
of a fight? Well,
Nah.
I am lucky enough to also have the special edition.
Yep. What number are
Um,
you? I'm
Good question.
2616.
I am 489.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there
Chris
you are.
wins. It's not a competition, but if it were,
It's not a competition, but everything's a competition. So I win.
it is. So yes, I do. I really enjoy those. And my apologies for having a Light Seers Tarot deck casual without you.
Oh, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
But aren't we going to do? We're going to do this one sometime. The
We
Witches
are
Tarot,
going to do the
and
Witch's Tarot. Yeah, I'm looking
I
forward to
was
that.
going to invite Ben to that one.
Has Ben got this deck?
I believe Ben does. Ben is in chat. Ben, do you have this? Because in my mind,
I know
so.
that this was Zane's very first tarot deck, but I didn't know that Ben had it, so that'll be exciting. So it will.
Hmm.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly go down the list and say hi to everyone, if that's okay. So we've got Beth
Absolutely.
from Aspasia Rising. Hello, good evening, Beth, or an appropriate hello as to whatever time it is where you are. Ben, I can say good evening to you because I know you're in the same time zone as me. So hey, Ben. Oh, there's Gerald. Hello, Gerald. We've
Hey.
already we've already sufficiently embarrassed Gerald, so we
Oh
have.
my gosh. I was just like, oh my gosh.
I didn't
That
tell him
is
I was
very
going to
sweet.
do that before we started.
Hey, I'm better though at taking compliments, so thank you.
Yeah,
So
I'm shit at it. I'm not very good at taking compliments at all. I just
no,
get
you've
all
you've learned. You've learned because practically every live I try to encourage my guests to join you
you
for a
do
roundtable
for
reading
roundtable readings.
because
That's very true.
they're phenomenal. Hi Mark.
Hey,
So
Mark. Yeah, sorry, sorry. Hey, Mark. How
oh,
you doing? It's lovely to see you. Um, oh, our lovely Deanne is here. I'm here, but I'm still in a work meeting. Be done soon. Well, enjoy the rest of your work meeting. Now, is that a banana or is it a crescent moon? Either
I think
way,
it's a
it
crescent
sounds like a
moon.
fantastic work meeting, whether that's a crescent moon
Yes.
or a banana. Um,
A crescent moon on a banana?
a banana on a
What?
crescent moon.
Uh, Deep
Mine.
thoughts
I know, I
with
know.
Chris and Gerald.
Tarot living with Manasa. Hey, Manasa, how are
Hmm.
you? We've
Hello.
got the lovely sorry, the lovely Robin. Sorry, I was just going to say because I've not, I don't think I've seen Robin in quite a while. I think he's had to just kind of pop in and say hi at some point. So I feel as though I've not spoke to him in ages. So hey, Robin, it's lovely to see you, and I hope you're doing okay. We've got the lovely Diane from Wood Thrush Cottage. Hey, Diane, how are you
Hey.
doing? Um, no, no. I take it back. He has a bit sometimes.
Uh, sometimes, yes. Hi,
We've got
Diane.
Donna Thompson. Hey
Donna.
Donna, how you doing? I have also got Debbie from Aquarius Owl. Hey
Hi,
Debbie, how you
Debbie.
doing? Um, and I think that's us, guys. I think that's everyone that's here just now. So, well, that's. Oh, hang on. No, Emmy the Grey is here also. Hey, Emmy, nice to see you. For those of you that are watching, that are just lurking, also a massive hello and welcome to you as well. It's lovely to have you here. Um,
Wonderful.
Mystic Marvin, hey Marvin, how are you? Whoops.
Hey.
Jonathan is
Hey,
also here.
Jonathan.
So yeah, uh, sorry, I've already kind of warned Gerald guys, but I still do have a bit of a nasty cough. So I might have to mute my mic every now and then and have a bit of a coughing fit. Just can compose myself. But I'm sure Gerald's more than able to keep chatting if I need to do that.
I'll
Um,
do my best.
if I
I'll
accidentally,
make that as an opportunity for a channel takeover.
well, there you go. There you go. Absolutely. Um, if I do accidentally cough down the microphone, then please accept my apologies in advance.
Of course.
Um,
Well, Chris, you were singing my praises. May I sing your praises about something very specific?
oh, you've got 15 seconds on you go. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Of course you can.
Um, I learned how to be a good host by watching you because you talk to your guest and then you go, let's catch up on chat. And then you talk to your guest and then you catch up on chat. And it's while most of the views are in playback, it's really nice when you're watching to be included in that. So that I learned that watching from you and people who have asked me for help. I'm like going, watch Chris of Elemental Cartomancy because this is what he does, and it's a very natural thing, and it allows you and I to have that conversation and us to have that conversation with everybody, and it's really great. So
Oh,
thank you
that's
for
really
that.
sweet. I didn't actually know that, so thank you, Gerald. That's
You're
really
welcome.
really nice of you to say.
Hmm.
Um, I spied someone else come in. I saw the very lovely Regina.
Ooh, I have an exclusive, by the way. You will. Oh, and this is an exclusive Chris and Regina thing. So,
Yeah, you've got something to. Is this what I'm thinking of, or is this something different? Sorry.
on Friday, Regina is hosting her first Conversations with Regina on the Conversations with Regina Tarot
Oh,
channel on Friday at 12:30 Eastern, and it's a conversation about changes.
right. Okay.
So, so that will be tomorrow, and I popped some extra information to her today. In my previous career as a trainer and a development person, I did about 15 years of change and transition management training for employees and supervisors. So I I love that. It's a great
Yeah,
topic.
that's really cool. My mum's husband, my stepdad, used to be like a change manager, kind of like a
Hmm.
project manager type thing, in a call center environment.
Hmm.
So like whenever there was a big change to be rolled in, um, it would be his job to, be there to support the business and make sure that everything was going to kind of get from A to B in a smooth and
Hmm.
successful way. So is that something similar to what you would do? You would have done?
It is. It is, yes. And I spent a fair amount of my library career working with development of supervisors. And I actually was very fortunate because I had the ear of some of the higher ups. And I wasn't afraid to say, here's what's going on. And if you
Yeah,
want to bring everybody along with you, you need to admit that that's what's you're hearing and talk about how you're going to address it.
yeah,
And when they did, it was really powerful. It was great.
yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Good, I'm glad. Um, I just need to share this. So Regina says, "You fabulous phalanx." Uh, oh, I'm thinking of something else. You fabulous phalanx of card-slinging skills. Oh dear, mine's in the gutter. Oh my.
Wow.
Excuse me. Oh, Regina, you're making me blush. Um, so we're getting compliments from the chat here, Gerald.
I
So I'm going to
see that.
highlight them because you're included in them. Gerald says, Gerald and Chris, sorry, Mark says, oh my actual. Do you know what, everyone? From now on, everyone's name is Gerald. How about that? That just sorts the problem, doesn't it? Mark.
Today is Gerald Day.
Is
Ta-da!
it every day not Gerald Day?
It is in Jeffrey's world.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So Mark says Gerald and Chris are the best at juggling conversation and chat. I couldn't do it. Not a multitasker. Too much Taurus in my chart. So
Mm,
I've got Taurus in my chart as well. My ascendant sign is Taurus. And do you know something, Mark? I have said the exact same thing. I'm not a very good, someone who you would say is very good at multitasking either. Like I'm really not. In everyday life, I'm pretty classically terrible at it.
hmm.
It's a skill that you build up over time. So if that is, and maybe there's other reasons as well, but if that's something that's stopping you from trying doing something like this, then I would encourage you to give it a go.
Well,
So
and I'm happy to be a guest on your channel, Mark, because you're a great guest on my channel, and I'm pretty easy. Don't spread that around, people.
Tarot bicycle, what did I tell you?
Well,
Um,
and with a handlebar mustache on the bicycle.
there we go. Also it comes with fully equipped and everything.
Well, yeah, of course. It's got a little basket on it, Chris.
Oh dear. Right. Beth says, yeah, Chris and you, Gerald, gracefully go back and forth to include everyone on lives. It makes everyone feel welcome. Thank you very much, guys. That's really sweet of you to say. Um, Regina says, changes.
Yep.
Let's see. Jonathan's asking, Regina, are you starting a new channel? So Regina, if you actually have the channel started, then please pop a link to it in the chat for us. And everyone in the chat, there's 23 watching right now. So if Regina's subscribership doesn't go from whatever it is right now plus 23, then we're coming to shuffle all your tarot cards all together into one big pile this size.
And we're
going
going to
to
riffle shuffle them with our tiny hands.
Oh yeah, a proper good riffle shuffle as well. Not one of these gentle ethny riffles. It's going to be a proper. You're going to hear that fucker from miles away. So yeah. So
Yes.
go subscribe to Regina's new channel, please. Right, let's have a quick cast the eyes down. Hello to Calla Lily. It is lovely to see you. How are you doing?
Hey, Liz.
uh, Liz, did you say? Is that Calla Lily's name?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Liz.
Yes. Calla Lily
Excellent.
is Liz. Yes.
All right,
See,
okay.
I have my cheat sheets.
That is great because I actually have a bit of a hard time saying the name Lily. I've got to really think about it and get those
Hmm.
L's enunciated. So if your name is Liz, then that is so much easier. So I'll try and remember that. Yeah, Liz says it as well. It's always Jay and Jeffrey's world. Um, do, 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 do. Gerald, you want to show us something, don't you? How
Oh, yes.
serious and ominous does that sound? But I'm just going to leave it at that. Gerald wants to show us something. Why don't you show us something exciting, Gerald?
So, y'all know how sometimes we get, oh, Chris, keep your head on here because I need to see a reaction. And then go ahead and remove Liz's, so you can embiggen me, but keep, I want to see your reaction to this. So,
I need to practice my reactions now.
yeah. Okay. So, we all know Regina of Blue Crescent Tarot has a
Oh,
circle punch and has been
Deanna,
doing
please
some stuff.
press the
Deanne,
tarot. Sorry.
who did I say?
You said Regina. It's okay. I'm hardly one to talk because I've misnamed two people now. But um, Deanne's one of my wee favourites. And we're just
Okay,
going to
I'm going to put my name right up here on the end of my thing, so that I remember who I am. But anyhow, so Deanne of Blue Crescent Tarot was using her circle punch to change a deck into circle oracles, and then I saw Kelly Bear doing that about a month or so ago with a Centennial RWS that she received, and I am an overcomplicator and an overachiever. Everybody knows that. That's me. There you go. So what I
love you
did,
for it.
thank you. What I did was I used the idea and I was inspired to do some circle punches out of this. And this is where it gets crazy. So then you can layer. So I have the circle punches with that, but then what I could do is I could actually put inside another punch from this, and so then what you have is you have the the 5 of wands inside the star, and that gives you some different creativity in looking at it. So, and I think somebody in Kelly Bear's chat had said, "Oh, save this and do something with it and do them together." Well, I love this. I also had a copy of I'm talking really fast, I can tell. I'm so excited
You're
about
not.
this.
You're absolutely fine. We can
Okay.
understand you.
I have a what I call it is a counterfeit copy of a Deviant Moon deck. They made it into many, and I called it my Deviant Moon, and I wanted to do something with it. So I actually hole punched that. So then you have the ability to put something like this together. We have the Eight of Wands inside the Empress. What's the layer in that? That could be pretty amazing. And okay,
I
this
love
is
that.
where, yeah, I do too. Well, I also had purchased a second copy of your favorite deck for myself. So I recently did this with my Light Seers, a copy of the Light Seers.
Right.
So you've got that. And then you could easily put inside of that, here's where it gets fun. I can mix decks within each of these things because the circles are the same size.
Oh, very clever.
So thanks to Kelly Bear and Deanne
Yeah.
for that. And it's actually, it's a really phenomenal idea, especially when you've got, like, um, I could put the King of Swords together with the King of Pentacles, so it looks like that.
Yeah.
And you can also, so right now, and so then you have the Emperor inside the King of Pentacles.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it just adds a very interesting layer of stuff. So that's the deck modding that I've been doing. And I was actually thinking all of these are the punches. And I was thinking about when it comes time to use them, I would just mix these all up and have the person go in or grab them from me using their preferred initial deck.
Right. Okay.
And so thanks for letting me show that.
That's okay.
It's so
That's
much fun.
pretty cool. It's a nice wee concept, isn't it?
Yes, and where's the one I'm currently working on? This is what happens when you're planning for, I'm doing a copy of the Druid Craft with that.
Right. Right.
And
Okay.
um, that one, I actually had to get a different hole punch, circle punch,
Oh, okay.
because this only goes in so far.
Ah, of
And
course. Right.
so I ended up getting something that is like this, so I can take this apart and put it on.
Ah, I see. Right. So you can select anywhere.
Yeah, it's not as smooth of a cut, so it's a little
Right.
annoying. But
Right. So that's
so
some good info for anyone who's watching and fancies doing this. Because it's always good to know what equipment is better than others and stuff.
yes,
But that's
and
what. Do you know what else that'll be really good for? See,
what?
like practicing combining cards. Because
Hmm.
that's something that we probably we all struggle to some degree.
Yes.
And it's funny because when you showed that it was the Empress and the Eight of Wands from the Deviant Moon.
Hmm.
Immediately in my mind, I had something that came into my head, and I'm not quite sure if that would have come into my head if it was just two cards sitting side by side. But
Hmm.
now that I've got that in my head, I probably will remember it whenever those two cards come up together.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that'll be really cool for people to for practicing and stuff.
Yep. How's the Empress with the inset of the Devil?
Very nice. It's really cool.
So, but yeah. So
Okay, so let's see
there's
what everyone else thinks, because I mean it's a really good idea. Like so Deanne and Kelly and I'd seen both of them do it on their channels.
hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm not sure if this is for me, but it looks cool. And now I'm like, right, okay, well I can see a potential really good use for it. Beyond just having circular cards, which has never been something that's appealed to me.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, and
Um,
like I said, I'm trying to find my the one that I was working on before, and it's literally the Fae have come in, have gone, you're not going to show it yet, but the, geez, don't you hate it when that happens?
Yeah,
Does that
when
happen
you
to you?
kind of find something. Aye,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, but it is one of those, it's a wicked threat to anyone.
Yeah, that was me threatening to
Oh,
shuffle cards together.
oh yeah, well, because we
Um,
will do it. I mean, it'll be fun.
so Diane is now subscribed. Um, Robin says 5 of Wands plus star, men fighting in a puddle. Um,
Yes.
Emmy says brain just exploded. Um, Jonathan says overcomplicated doesn't begin to describe that style of reading. I think it depends
That,
on how many cards you were pulling. If you were pulling like a 20 card spread with it, then the mind might start to be like, whoa, that's 40 cards on the table.
yes.
But like if you're doing like a one or maybe a 3 card spread, then I think it might be
Hmm.
quite cool.
Yes.
Um, let's see.
And that's actually, it's one of those things I've been fortunate, the way I read, I like to see the layers.
Yeah,
And Liz, I have spent hours doing that and circle punching and going, I want to put a word deck with an image deck. Yes.
yeah, that'd be quite cool. You've got Chris Ann does the Sacred Creators Oracle, isn't it? And that's basically a word deck with beautiful wee symbols that she's drawn on. So that'd
Yes.
be quite a cool one to do it with. Let's see. Mark says, Gerald, I like that idea more than the transparent tarot. It's more dynamic.
I can see that. Yes. What I
Um,
haven't done is I haven't put the transparent tarot with this one yet. That could be interesting. Okay, I'm going to stop looking because seriously, I mean, it was literally right there and it is gone. And I'm like, really? Really, Queen? What? Oh, oh, there it is. That's what I needed. Here, I'll show you another quick one because the Druid craft is so much larger,
yeah, as a big deck.
and what's interesting is let's overcomplicate. So, thank you for letting me show this. But like with the
Yeah.
Fool, what I was doing is I had put the Fool. I wanted to pick for a while. I was just picking the feet, and so you have the opportunity of putting, let's say, these are just what I picked, the 5 of Swords in with the Fool.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it brings a really interesting layering to
Yeah.
it, especially with
Definitely.
the like justice and um, justice and the 3 of Swords,
Yeah.
with an inset. I mean, look at that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Your
So,
handwriting is lovely, Gerald.
oh,
I don't know if
thank
I've
you,
ever told you that before.
thank you. Went to Catholic
Um,
school. We had to learn cursive and learn it properly before we were allowed to um, go in the next grade. So,
let's
yeah,
see.
I just started doing the minors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
so,
be cool. I always
yeah.
suspected that Empress was up to something.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. Oops. Tian says, I haven't actually made any cards like that, but I do lots of circle punching and I put words in the scrap cards in my journal. That's right, you do that,
Hmm.
Tian, don't you? I've heard you, I've at least heard you talking about that.
Hmm.
Sorry. And I also like to use them like coins to cast onto other cards.
Oh,
That's a cool idea as well.
yes.
Um, Ben says, I would end up putting the hole in the wrong place. I'm not great at modification. Would you, Ben? Would you like to take a wee minute to think about that sentence? I'm imagining Ben sitting blushing now and being like, oh, you guys. um, Gerald looks like me right now. looking at all the piles of decks, can't find shit. I
Yeah.
thought you were just referring to how fabulous you look, Diane.
Yeah.
Love the idea, but think I'll leave it to others as I would just trash decks. Yeah. To be honest, I think I might be like as in terms of like my own decks, I think I might be in the same camp as Butterfly Moor. For now, I've learned to never say never, but for now, I think I'm in that camp.
Hmm.
So I totally understand where you're coming
Hmm.
from. But yeah, never say never.
Never say
Um,
never, but make sure you get a good circle punch.
you always need to abandon looking for something in order for it to show up, says Robin.
Hmm.
That's true.
It's very
Liz
true.
is laughing at you saying, really, Queen? Where is Bianca Del
Oh,
Rio when you need her? Um,
really, Queen? Yeah, is Bianca Del Rio amazing? Not today, Satan.
the answer is Gerald is looking fabulous.
I wonder what Bianca Del Rio and Tara Sachet would be like on a live.
I think that'd be cool, pretty cool.
She's so
Um,
busy.
Ben said he was being serious. I know you were, Ben, and that's what makes it all
Hmm.
the more cute.
Hmm.
Right, okay. So we are. Have you got any more deck mods that you want to share with us, Gerald, or was it the whole punch excitement?
That
Um,
was the whole punch excitement, and
cool.
mostly because I wanted you to see what I did to the Light Seers Tarot. I didn't want. I was
Right.
like going. I was doing it, and I'm like going. Oh, I'm going to go on with Chris. I'm
Oh,
going to show Chris this because he's going to freak the hell out.
and how was my poker face? Did
I- Lady Gaga would be proud.
good stuff. That's what I like to
So
hear. Um, okay, so we're here to do a tag. Hashtag Sentimental Tarot Decks is what it's called, isn't it, Gerald?
yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
And this was actually started by a fantastic YouTuber, tarot tuber, content creator. So James Feeney or Lemniscate Logic.
Hmm.
Let's see, what do we want? We want middle screen. So this is James's channel. What I'm actually going to do is I am going to copy this. Don't mind me. I'm going to pop it in the chat. I want everyone to make sure that you're subscribed to James as well. Um,
Yes.
James is a lovely, lovely person. Um, really down to earth also. He ha- really, really, a really clever guy is probably a good way
He
that I
is.
would describe James.
Hmm.
He's always been really helpful whenever I've had kind of a questions that have bugged me. Usually it's Thoth questions because I know that he's so proficient with the Thoth.
Yes.
And I'm like, for example, when I discovered that the Ten of Wands, or the Ten of Wands is the only 10 card that isn't shaped like the Tree of Life. I was like, James,
Hmm.
James, James, why is this?
Well,
Um,
I would love to have James on for maybe a Thoth laugh and learn,
how
and
cool would that be?
that would be very cool. I'm just not ready to start it yet, but I also know James is really busy, and I also know from past experience, just ask people. The worst thing people can say is yes or no. It's awesome. Just do it.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. Everyone subscribe and
Mhm.
watch some of his videos. Yeah.
And he's
So
so, I mean, I think you said it very well. He's very thoughtful about what he shares.
absolutely, yeah.
And it's like, okay, dude knows the content.
Yeah, he knows his content well, and he's very kind of he plans it out really well. That's
Yes.
something that really impressed me about. So, see the channel that I shouted out last week, Aiden. It's now called Aiden Reads Tarot, but last week it was called Aiden Learns Tarot.
Hmm.
In fact, are you going on with Aiden soon? Did I spy?
Yes. In the middle of June.
Right. Okay.
Looking forward to
So
that.
there you go. Look forward to that, guys. But that's something that really impresses me about Aiden, as he's got his link tree, and then it's got the link where it takes you, and you can see everything that he's got planned coming up and when it's planned and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, rather than kind of a well, I suppose you can
Like me,
with the
where it's chaotic.
No, no, not at all. And
Um,
that's the opposite of what I was just going to say. Because I was going to say another thing you can do is you can put the what's the word? You can pre-schedule the videos.
you can
What am I
schedule the
trying to think
videos.
of?
Yes, you
What's the
can
word?
schedule the videos
Yeah.
for release later.
Yeah, like your lives, you can kind of set them up however in advance you want.
Hmm.
I've got into the habit of only doing it on the day just because I know that that's when it appears on someone's timeline. So that I mean that's my thing, but you know, there's different ways to do it. And the point is, I was really impressed with Aiden and his kind of a planning and preparedness, and that's something that I would also say for James.
Hmm.
We got there. So hashtag sentimental tarot decks. So I was saying to Gerald before we came live, this is when I've started looking at my decks to pick out what ones were kind of had sentimental value to me. I had to rein myself in a wee bit. I discovered that really I could attach sentimental value to. I can find an excuse to say that anything, pretty much, just about
Oh,
is
yes.
sentimental. So I've narrowed it down to about 10 decks. I think Gerald's got a few more. So for that reason, we're actually going to start with Gerald. And what I'll maybe do is I'll get the wrong one. I'll have the big screen activated and I'll just swap and stuff as we go. So Gerald, do you want to start off with your first hashtag sentimental tarot deck?
No, I'm kidding.
Ooh.
Many people know some of my. I thought I'd make you laugh. Um, one of my, and these are in no particular order. One of my sentimental decks is the Bonefire Tarot, and
Right,
the
okay, love
reason
that
it
deck.
is it I do as well. After it grew on me, I ended up purchasing this at a local shop, and this was the first deck I believe I modified because the borders something was just not quite right for me with it, and I was attracted to the images, and I this was the first deck that I modified, and I took off the borders. I got courageous. I watched Dawn Marie of Boho Tarot. How do trim a deck, and it made so much more sense to me. So this one, I bought it at a place that went out of business, and I was willing to modify it so that I could connect with it in a different way.
Mm.
And then I'm also it's sentimental because I used it for my hashtag gratitude challenge 2021 that Jen Science to Soul Tarot and Transformation started. And so for the first, I think, week or two, I used this one, and I did edge it in purple. So
It's
that's
beautiful.
my first one. I have yet to do a deck casual on this.
Right, okay.
So if anybody wants to do a deck casual with me on this, let me know. And
I'm
by the
going to
way,
message the creator. She was on, do you know, Benny Wen and Anatolian's channel, Tarot Symposium.
yes.
The creator was on their channel
Mm,
a wee while ago because she was talking about, the new deck that she's made, that she's created.
hmm.
She's talking about that. So you could always send the creator a wee message and see if.
And I did purchase the Tarot Avatara recently because I wanted it, and I purchased responsibly, and I knew my limits, so I went ahead and ordered it. It's actually on the way from Australia, and it was a very decent price. So that's my first one.
Oh, lovely. Well, guys, before I share my first sentimental deck, I have to share something else with you because I knew that at some point we were going to get Gerald's purchase responsibly and know your limits. So if we call Gerald the angel on your shoulder, then I will be the devil on your shoulder. Um, when it comes to buying decks, that'll be me. So there you go. You've got the wee angel as our Gerald. There he's there, and
Oh,
you've got the devil on your shoulder as me.
purchase
You
responsibly. Purchase responsibly.
hang on, I can do this.
That's good. I like that, Chris. Do it.
Yeah,
That's Star Wars reference, isn't it?
it is. So that is Emperor. Well, I suppose he's the Chancellor Palpatine at the time.
Mm.
When Anakin is fighting Count Dooku. So yeah, it's a well used meme. So it is. So I thought I would bring it into our lovely conversation.
Well played.
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I think we're going to turn on Let There Be Light.
Oh,
Um, so hopefully once I get a deck here, yeah, that's some kind of a.
I have that deck. I have that
Oh,
deck because Chris made me do it.
yeah. So this deck actually has sentimental value for me for a couple of reasons. It was a really sweet and kind and thoughtful gift from Jen from Jen's Balanced Tarot.
Mm,
Um, Jen was using this in a tarot play date at the time, and I think it was the King of Pentacles actually, um, and I remember connecting really. It's weird because it wasn't even the crystal skull or the type of crystal or anything. It was the thread that Jesse had used on the card. Let me see if I can show you some actually. So, in fact, you can
mm,
see it right away there. You see how she uses this thread.
mm-hmm.
It was that kind of a thing that I got a lot of meaning out of. So Jen said to me, I'd like you to have this deck. Also,
That's sweet.
it's a deck that was created by one of our own, by the very lovely Jessie Driscoll. And I managed to, I was honoured to have Jessie on my channel, and we did a full walkthrough of that
I
deck
remember that.
together. It was
Yes.
something like 3 hours long. But I enjoyed every single second of it. It was absolutely fantastic. So that's definitely a sentimental deck for me, and a good place to start. So what about you,
Mm.
Gerald? What's your next one?
My next one. Ooh, you were going quick. Okay, so usually I'm like, whoa, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. My sentimental decks usually are in boxes, and this is a box that is made from computer m- uh, motherboards or whatever, but it is the Mystic Dreamer Tarot, and this was a deck I purchased. I have two copies of this. Was a deck that I use for dream interpretation, and it is for me for a time in my life when I was really into understanding my own spirituality in a new way, and and realizing that sometimes dreams are actually important messages, and when I pay attention to them,
Yeah.
and this deck is very sentimental for me about that. It's that snapshot of that moment in time of being a newbie, getting very, very excited, and finding a deck that just goes, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
that's really nice, and it's nice that you've got that kind of got it for that specific purpose. It's good when you can find something that you're like, right, okay, you're really good for
mhm,
that, you know.
yes,
So no, that's
it's
that's
beautiful.
amazing, fantastic. Give us another one, Gerald. I'll change it up a bit, since I know that you've got a couple more.
Another one is the Star Seeker Tarot,
Okay.
and this is a sentimental deck because some of you know I have decks that I have like my Robin Wood deck, which you will see later, was created out of combining decks, and this is one that a friend and I both have had, and we were doing some readings together, and I was like, wait a minute. So this reminds me of that person.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm reading for this person, or I'm doing readings about us or for her, it it's a beautiful deck.
Yeah.
So,
That's
and
really
this one, yeah, and so this one I only use for just for this is a private deck, And fortunately, she just came out with a mini version of the deck, which I think is absolutely wonderful. So that's the Star Seeker Tarot.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. I will go next. Now, I as a lot of you might know, my family. Well, I mean, my mum bought me my first deck when I was, when I was a kid. So my family knew that I did this, but like they don't know about my channel, and for a long time they didn't realize that I was still into it. Um, and I suppose not worried about telling them is probably not the right thing to say, but I was a bit, you know, I did for whatever reason I wasn't upfront with that information, but Christmas just passed. I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to kind of a go for it, and we do like a secret Santa in my family rather than everyone buy presents for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You get to like put a. It's my wee brother that organises it. My wee brother that actually it turns out had me and got me this deck, but he organises it, and it's done with a website online, and you can put in like a wish list, and your person
Mm.
gets the wish list that automatically selects who gets who, and you can make sure that couples don't get each other if you want to do that. It's good. Anyway, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for some tarot stuff. And my brother very kindly got me this for my Christmas. And I ended up reading for, some of my family with it on Christmas Day. Um, so for that reason, because it has that kind of a connection to my family,
Mm.
it's a really
Mm-hmm.
special deck, and because it has that, it marks that kind of a me saying, right, we're just going to go for it here. I'm going to stop. I suppose hiding isn't the right word because it's not like it was like a big hush hush secret. I just didn't make a point in telling anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is that for that reason, this is sentimental to me. I love that hermit. It reminds me of like a Harry Potter Patronus. So it does.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that! Look at the devil. I mean, I don't really like people using snakes for negative things, but if we ignore the fact that it's the devil, it's a beautiful card.
Mm-hmm. The illustrations in this are beautiful, and
Yeah.
I got this from because of Kenneth at Common Hawthorne was showing it. He was doing a
Right.
tag
Yeah.
about do you see yourself in the tarot, and I think it's the Two of Cups in there that he talked about. And
Right.
I
Okay.
also bought, yeah, it's a beautiful deck.
Definitely. Yeah. I love this card. The
I
King
do
of
too.
Coins. It's absolutely beautiful. The World Turtle. So if you don't have this deck and you're wondering, what's happening with the cards, they are very kind of I wouldn't say it's like totally Rider-Waite-Smith, just like
Mm-hmm.
an imitation, but it does take inspiration from the Rider-Waite-Smith, in terms of the images, but each image is of a particular fairy tale, and we're talking fairy tales from cultures all over the world. And so
Yeah.
you can get the book that goes with it. Let me see if I can quickly grab it. This is it here. It's called Beneath the
Mm-hmm.
Moon. And this you can kind of look up the a snapshot of the fairy tale that goes with the card.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is that's my next one. So that's it's always going to be close to my heart.
Of course it is, and that's what a sentimental deck is because of somebody who has paid attention to you enough and got you something that seems perfect for you.
Yeah,
So that's lovely.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome. My next one is the Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards,
Yeah.
and it's by this person whose name I am not going to butcher. And this is a square deck, and it is sentimental to me because, and I'm not going to get emotional, but I am. It's because my first long-term companion, Robert, bought this book, and he was very interested in Russian iconography and he studied Russian in school and was doing various classes. And so he purchased this, and it is the format of it is they're square, and then what you do is you lay these out and then you find images that are next to the others. And of course, I cannot find any right now to illustrate. So it's a very sentimental. I have a great deal of attachment for it because he would spend time looking at this and reading the book. This one came with a nice hardback copy. So Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards.
That's
So
beautiful.
yes.
I might take this opportunity to just quickly catch up with some of the comments in the chat. So we were enjoying the Emperor Palpatine is the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Ben says, I knew you had a red lightsaber. In this house, Ben, we have got several lightsabers.
I was
Um,
going to say at
we've
least
got
two.
an abundance. Well, yes. Um, but we've got an abundance of lightsabers. We actually, Sandy got us like custom made lightsaber hilts. And the idea they've both got Kelly McFadden and the date of our wedding on them.
Aw.
And is it our full names actually? Yeah, I think it's our full name. So obviously mine says like Christopher Kelly McFadden. Um, but the idea was we were supposed to wear them on our belt on our wedding day. So it would have just have been a wee thing that we would have known was there, but unless you were really looking, probably wouldn't have been obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up we couldn't because we wore kilts and we couldn't make it work. So, but we've still got them obviously, and we're going to when we finally make like a frame and frame some stuff that's special to us about the wedding. Then I think they might be right in there. Um,
You've got me enlarged, so I'm just going to keep, just
oh yeah, sorry.
I'm just like going, oh, okay.
It's
I'm
at
just
least I didn't leave a comment right in the middle of the screen in front
yeah.
of everything for a change.
We will
Um,
get to readings, people.
we will. We will. It might be a wee bit later. Well, it will be a wee bit later tonight because of the tag, but we will get there. So save your questions. If you've got questions for the cards, then pop them in
Hmm.
there at the end, and I'll probably use one of my sentimental decks to do readings with. I've not really decided which one yet.
I haven't either.
Mark Astro Tarot says my two sentimental decks are the Indy and a K. I think that's the Tarot and not the Lenny. Yeah, it will be because you said Indy. Um, and the Fifth Spirit Tarot because I miraculously manifested them. Within a week of lusting for them, they became available locally for half the price. That's some
Mm,
fantastic
well done.
luck, if you like the word luck. But yeah, that's great. Um, I got the Crystal Skull Tarot by backing the Kickstarter. See, I wasn't on the tarot scene when Crystal Skull Tarot was on the Kickstarter. Neither I was.
Mm,
Um, Debbie says I have a new sentimental deck, the Orion's Animal Tarot. That's sweet, Debbie.
aw.
Um, Jonathan says sentimental deck, Bone, Stone, and Earth Flesh, which I got for one of my wearable crystal grid necklaces. Very
Mm-hmm.
nice. Danielle's loving the Star Seeker. Jonathan
Mm-hmm.
agreeing with the Star Seeker. The Star Seeker is a sentimental. I don't think I'm that far behind, so don't worry. I'm not going to spend ages on this, guys. Gerald, are collage decks your favourite type of deck? I've seen a few of these on your channel. Ben asks.
He's being snarky because yes, I've done I'll show you mine if you show me yours with Ange from Tiny Trinkets and Tarot, and we did collage style decks. So I believe he's being snarky.
Ben, are you being a little bitch to my guest?
He's just getting ready because Ben and I are going to be on Ron's channel tomorrow night.
Oh, that'll be good. Are you
So
doing
we're going to do
readings
readings.
or you're doing
Yeah,
readings? Right? Okay, cool.
we're doing readings.
Yeah. So Ben is saying he would love Bone Stone, and Earth Flesh. Also, Jonathan says I'm looking forward to Anna Turian's Tarot of Echoes. Yeah, absolutely, 100% me
Hmm.
too. And the Arthurian Tarot, if you follow her on Instagram, the Arthurian Tarot, I think it's called, that she's illustrating for someone as well,
Hmm.
is looking absolutely stunning.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah. let's see. Makes sense, Gerald, as you're very creative, says Ben.
Aw, thanks, Ben.
Um, Me too, Jonathan. Oh, there we go. She's doing another reading as well. Um, I love the book and the deck set, but it's not sentimental for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Gosh, Gerald, that deck gives me shivers. I didn't have it. So that's the last deck you were talking about. I didn't
I
have a
think
very good
yes, the
experience
Russian.
um,
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah.
it. I think the Arthurian Tarot deck is going to be a French deck. So I'm guessing we'll have to order it through the French Amazon. I mean,
Mm.
I've ordered decks through French Amazon before with minimal fuss. Yeah, I'm well open to doing that if it is going to be. Although I would imagine there might be copies available, otherwise as well, if it's, since it's Anna
Yes.
that's illustrating at least. Um, do you collect any Star Wars figures? I mean, if I just move my camera here round just a wee bit then. Ah, balls. I've effed up my camera. Hang on, guys.
Uh-oh,
This
he's
always
frozen.
happens. It's okay. Can you hear me at least?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. No, this always happens when I mess with my camera. So I just need to do this and deactivate and activate again. So can you see Darth in the background there?
Oh, there you go.
So there's a snapshot of the Star Wars figures that we've got. And I think we're good, we're centered. Um right, okay. Beth says, is that a lightsaber under your kilt or are you just happy to see me? Both, Beth. Um Channeling Taro Sachet's cousin, says Ben. Um So yeah, let's move on, guys. So let's see the next one that I'm going to talk about. You okay, Gerald? Yeah,
Yes, I'm going to go away for a minute. So
that's
keep
okay.
talking.
No worries. I'll keep the show running. Um, the next one I'm going to talk about is my copy of the Zany Tarot. Um, the reason that this is sentimental for me is because Zane and I spoke about some of the images in this deck before he actually, published it and made it a deck. I think it might actually still be in order because I did a side by side with the anniversary edition. Um, so yeah, this was and this that Zane sent me this. Was it before or was it just when it get made public? I can't remember. But I got this right at the very start, right when it was first available. Um, And yeah, it's absolutely stunning. It reads so well. And it reminds me of Zane, who is a good friend in the tarot community. So yeah, and just because Zane and I had spoken about, some of the images before, um, yeah, it's always been a special one for me. Of Fortune. Justice cards, you note that you actually have to read the signs to see that it's the Justice card. Um, and then the hanged one with the hanged upside down. Oh, Gerald's got this one as well. Is this on your
Mm-hmm.
list? Yeah. Let's just do this
Yes.
then. Maybe we can both
Yeah.
show it and talk about it together.
And
I'll try and find one of my
yeah.
favourite cards.
And I got this because this is the mini version, and it's very
Oh,
sentimental because I was happening to talk to the creator, Zane, who is in chat, and I'm like, you know what I'd love? I'd love a mini version of this on linen. And lo and behold, so I'll be using this deck tonight for our readings.
very nice. Good choice, sir.
Thank
So
you.
I love the cheeky bum feel on the Two of Cups. I've
Mm-hmm.
always loved that about this particular card. Sorry, the light's kind of hitting the card funny. And I love also the Ten of Swords in this deck.
Yes.
Absolutely stunning card, packed full of juicy meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one that I've always really, really loved. I think that was maybe a card I asked saying to see before before the deck went public and stuff when we were chatting
Mm-hmm.
before. And yeah, sorry, I didn't actually realise that Zane was about. So you timed that very nicely, Mr. Zane. So hey to you. And says, I think we
Mm-hmm.
got the first two copies. I think I ordered yours at the same time that I ordered my copy to check for errors. Yeah, because am I right in thinking, Zane, that I actually got mine before yours? Because I know that I had my walkthrough filmed before you had yours filmed, if I remember correctly. And I was just waiting for you to give me the go ahead to to get it on YouTube and all that kind of a lovely stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's the first
Yeah.
one that we've matched on, Gerald. That's pretty cool, isn't
Yep.
it?
I love this Eight of Wands. It's a very creative Eight of Wands.
Yeah,
And the fact that the Emperor has a child, that
yeah,
just makes my heart sing,
yeah.
because
Beautiful, isn't it?
emperors can be loving fathers or, loving adults. I think it's just lovely.
This
So, and
is
I do like yeah. Oh yeah, I just have that one too. So,
this is it. This is my Sandy card. Um, Big canoe feet. Sandy's got size 12 feet in the UK, so I think that might be like size 13 feet in the US sizes. And he doesn't have long hair now. He's actually got a shaved head now, but he used to have long hair. So this is like I think what Sandy looked like basically in school. So this is a beautiful card and really it's really apt for me that my husband
hmm
is the Knight of Cups. Because um yeah, because he's just my Sandy, and that's lovely.
I love
Lots of
that.
beautiful like gender diversity in the deck, and lots of other types of diversity as well. Yeah, it's just a really stunning deck.
hmm
So yeah, um, Gerald, would you like to go next, good sir?
Yes, and this is my next one. Some people have heard about this. This is the Tarot Illuminati, and this is a sentimental deck because this is mine and Jeffrey's relationship deck. We actually bought the deck together, used it for a full month, and then mixed the images together. Do you want to remove Zane's comment?
Yes, sir.
It's okay. I'm just helping you. And so this is not a deck for everyone. It's a very specific style, and this is so it's very sentimental with when we got it and how we combined them, and it's only used for when we are doing readings for each for the relationship, not me wanting to find out what's going on with Jeffrey and not Jeffrey finding out what's going on with Gerald, but what's going on in the relationship. It's great.
So can
So
I ask, Gerald, is
yes,
there one copy of that deck that you use together, or do you both each have your own copy of it?
we each have our own copy of it,
Okay.
and then when we do a spread, we each do the spread with the deck that is combined with cards from each of ours. So if we're doing a Celtic Cross, essentially, this is his perspective on it from his perspective on the question, and then my perspective on the question, and then we can look at them. And it's very interesting when we have complementary cards in the same position. It really helps to open things up. It's quite lovely. It's quite
Amazing.
lovely.
That's
So
really cool. That's a really good idea. So that is.
yes. And like I
Um,
said, I'm very fortunate that Jeffrey also likes tarot and he's quite skilled at it. And he benefits because I like to acquire decks. And when you're doing a Kickstarter, sometimes it's just cheaper to buy another copy.
yeah.
So, Tarot Illuminati, Eric
Jonathan
Dunn.
says, mini linen zany tarot? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark.
Yes.
Um, so Jonathan is loving that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think of Jonathan every time I see that card now. Says Beth. I'm not too sure which card Beth is meaning. Um, yeah, I think so. About
Mm,
par for the course with NPC. Says saying.
yeah.
Um, you have that story about that happening at a concert. Well, I think maybe Beth and Jonathan
Oh.
are talking about something different
Mm.
that I've missed part of. So apologies, guys. I'm just nosing into your conversation now. I was the emperor for a tarot themed gathering slash ritual where everyone was assigned a card to embody.
Mm.
I handcrafted a brass crown for the event, and it
Oh,
even showed in an international art gallery. That's pretty cool,
nice.
Jonathan. I would hate to have been the Ten of Wands for that, or the Ten of Swords for that matter.
I'd rather be the 10 of wands than the 10 of swords.
Yeah, that's true.
Oof.
Um, Liz says, I love that you and Jeffrey combined and then each took a mixed copy after you used it, and that you use it now only for the relationship as its own entity.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's pretty sweet. So it is.
Yeah. And we've used it to help us as we were planning out for the wedding that should have happened in 2020 and may happen in 2022, but jury's still out on that.
Oh, I'll need to get
So,
shopping for a big hat. That may be a British thing, actually. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say that.
well, don't you wear big hats for
Yeah,
weddings?
like someone that identifies as a woman and presents as a woman. It's traditional for the mums, the mother of whatever the people getting
Mm-hmm.
married to wear a big massive hat, and we've got this thing where if traditionally it's the mother of the bride, but I mean, obviously at my wedding we didn't have a bride, we were short of those. Um, so it's traditional that you need to wait until the mother of the if you when you're sitting at the dinner, you need to wait for the mother of the bride to take their hat off before any guest can take their hat off.
Ah, okay.
So if you're at a more kind of a traditional wedding like that, you'll often see people sweating beads under these big hats, looking at the mother of the bride, be like, please, please,
Please take your hat off.
yeah. Uh, but anyway, that takes us on to my next sentimental deck, um, and this is the Fairy Tale Tarot. Now, this is sentimental
Oh.
for me for a couple of reasons. Um, it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful deck first and foremost. But it was gifted to me. It was the first deck that Simon from the Hermit's Cave gifted to me.
Oh,
Now this
that's
is a
nice.
really hard to find, out of production, long out of production deck.
Mm-hmm.
So it was particularly kind of him to gift this to me. But he did it because there was reason behind it. He knows that I love story, telling stories and reading
Mm-hmm.
stories and cards and stuff. So he thought of me in regard to this deck, and that was why he
Oh.
wanted to gift it to me. So it was a really thoughtful gift. I was absolutely blown away with it at the time because I think it wasn't the first, but it was one of the first kind of gifts that I'd received from people in the community. Um, so it was just it meant a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll be honest, right? I don't use this as often as I should because it's one of those ones where I'm almost scared to kind of wreck one of the cards or something like that, and
Sure.
I don't buy into that kind of a thing. I'm kind of it's there to be used. Is how I tend to be with my own stuff. Um, so but this is one that is kind of a very special and sentimental.
Do you riffle shuffle that one?
Very, very gently, yeah. I've got
Okay.
to. I can't have a deck, and no, that's a lie. Actually, I don't riffle shuffle the Marshmallow Marseille because when I did, it was like a fucking glitter explosion. So it was like Elton John had walked into the room and did a big spinny around, and
Ah.
oh my goodness, I was covered. So I don't raffle shuffle that one for that reason. But also for that reason, I don't really ever intend on putting that in order unless I absolutely have to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'll riffle it very gently. The thing is, it's
Hmm.
a nice pliable deck. It's very very bendy, so you're not going to
Yeah.
kind of I'm not forcing it at all. So I'm
Hmm.
just gently kind of riffling them together, and then I don't feel like I'm doing any damage to the cards by doing that. Um, so yeah, it's an absolutely stunning deck, and it's the same in that each card is linked to a story, to a fairy tale. And fairy tales are something that I love. Like I got so I've got this book. It's a pretty cool book of the Brothers Grimm,
Mm-hmm.
like fairy tales. It's all
Hmm.
gilded and fancy bitch-ish. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm a great lover of
Fancy
fairy tales.
schmancy.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Who
yeah,
produced that one?
this was Baba Studios.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, and that's great. So everybody knows one of my sentimental decks is the Robin Wood Tarot, and this is this is a deck that is created. My copy of this deck is created from two friends and and I bought this book from Robin Wood. So I have it signed, and I bought this deck from Robin Wood. So it's extremely sentimental. I love it, and it's the one where I probably started to really understand tarot. And in reading her book, she talks about the importance of trusting your intuition. So a lot of times when I see a new deck and I look at a card, I'm sorry, I've been shuffling these, and I look at a card, it's these images that I go to
Lovely.
in my mind. So, but so yeah. So the Robin Wood Tarot.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love it. And
It's
I'm so fortunate to have purchased it from her and then it's combined.
yeah, that I mean that has sentimental value on its own. So it
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
Um,
And Julie from Peekaboo Rose, I was on her channel for an interview and she popped a question for me of if you could only have one of these two things for the rest of your life, which would it be? Your mustache or your Robin Wood Tarot?
oh my God, that's fantastic. She's a genius. What was
She
the
is
answer?
a genius. The Robin Wood Tarot, because I can buy a
Oh
fake
my.
mustache. I mean, I could probably be, I can be in a Zoom meeting with a handlebar mustache and not have to worry about it. But yeah,
Oh, that's a great answer. I love
it
that.
was, but it was a good question. I was like, ooh. So, yes. So the Robin Wood Tarot.
Brilliant. Moving on, my next one is the Deviant Moon Tarot, the Borderless edition. And the reason that I love this one is because it's the very first deck that Sandy bought me, that my husband bought me.
Aw.
I basically gave him, a list of decks to choose from, and I specifically said to him I wanted him to look at the artwork in each of the decks, and I wanted him to choose which was his favourite. Um, so it's special for me because it was the first one that he bought me. It was a Christmas present, which is always really nice. But also because I know that he connected with the artwork. Um, so yeah. Oh, there we go.
I have
Uh,
the Deviant Moon too.
okay, so why is that sentimental for you, Gerald?
It was one I actually saw it and I had to get it and I used it pretty religiously after I bought it.
Yeah,
And it was one of those, it sort of reframed the traditional images in a way that was a lot more it it allowed me to have different insight, and so that has followed me around.
yeah,
and and again, I have it in a special box with a special reading cloth. I have this with it, as well as I have a special pendulum for it as well.
beautiful.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. So
Is using a pendulum something that you do often, Gerald? Because I don't think I've seen you kind of or heard you talk much about that on your channel.
I do use a pendulum. I use it sometimes for clarification, and I also
Okay.
use it for when I read on a spirit board. So
Wow. Okay. So,
yeah.
guys, whoever's got questions, can we maybe get a deliberately vague question so as that Gerald needs to clarify something with his pendulum?
There you go. I see how you is. And I prefer the borderless. I've said
Yeah,
this too,
it's lovely, isn't
and
it?
so did you get the illustrated pips
I,
copy of that?
yes,
Yeah,
I did
I did
indeed.
too.
The Triumph Illustrated Pips,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's beautiful.
Yes.
Like so cool, and there's like little Easter eggs in it, like like the ninth cup is in the belly, and
Mm-hmm.
that it's just such a cool and well done deck, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so right, I'm trying to think. So, am I right in thinking we've got 5 decks left each?
I can go through. Well, I have one, two, three. I can do three.
We can do 3. How many have you
I
got
can.
left though? Of your
I
14?
have four, five.
5, right? Okay, I've also got 5. See, I
Okay,
did that.
there we go.
Uh, background genius, people. I've got this deck is joining the my list of sentimental decks, and that's just because it was my very first. When I was just
Ah.
a
Mm-hmm.
boy, and I got taken to Waterstones to pick my very first tarot deck. I've told this story a couple of times, but basically the chap behind the counter, we basically went up and says, we want to buy a tarot deck. Can you well show us them, direct us to them? But the
Mm-hmm.
guy was so helpful. See if everyone could have a first tarot deck buying experience like this. Like he basically put a bunch of decks onto the desk and then started
Mm-hmm.
asking me like, what kind of artwork do you like? Do you like lots of
Oh.
color? And then if I would say yeah, I like color, then he would take some decks off the table, and he basically narrowed it down and says, right, okay, here you go. Those are the two, and this was one. And I've always said I wish I knew what the other one. I wish I could remember what the other one was.
Yeah.
It might have been the Universal Way because I remember him being like, there's basically no difference between them.
Mm-hmm.
So just pick whatever one you think, and I picked that one. Um, so because it was my first, it's always going to have sentimental value for me.
Mm-hmm.
I recently discovered that if anyone remembers the whole when Simon did the video about the Pixie's signature mystery on the Fool, um, and I remember him saying in the video, I mean, I can't find it on like my blushing fool or so I can only imagine how people with that blotchy deck are going to feel. And I was like, a blotchy deck, yeah. And I looked at it and I found it right away. I was like, well, it's you can actually see it really clearly.
It's
Well, to me,
right.
it's really clear on this deck. It's right there.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's not really clear. You've got to look close, but you can see that it's there. So I glided them right away. I was like, you better open a window. It's about to get smug in here. I was like, that blotchy deck. I've just found it for you. So
I
yeah,
love that. That's
yeah.
funny.
So yeah, the original Rider Rate, RWS.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So Gerald.
The next one that I have is the Wild Unknown Tarot, and this is the original release, and it of course lives in another box, or in a box, so many people are associated with this. This is one I didn't know at the time what the heck a pip deck was.
Oh, okay.
I just was like going, wow, this is interesting. It didn't feel it stretched me a little bit, of course. I liked the coloring. I liked the black and white and the fact no people were in it. And I'd also purchased the guidebook. So
Yeah,
the Wild Unknown.
very nice.
So, and which is some people know I have like 3 copies of this, and
Right, yeah.
just because I'm an overachiever, because I have the one that I just showed you is a private deck that I only read for myself, and then I have public, and then of course hashtag overachiever. Oh, there's a new edition. Oh, there's a, so
Got you.
yeah, I need that.
Quickly catch up on some of the comments. We've got Robin Hood Tarot is definitely a sentimental deck for me, says Jonathan. It's the deck that I really used most in my early tarot days. Liz says, of course, Gerald can always use one of his fans to hide his stashlessness.
Stashlessness, yeah.
Oh, fan, as it right? Okay, I've got you. I was thinking one of you, as in one of your many fans, one of the masses. Do you know what I mean? I was like, how's he going to use them?
Yeah, I should just get a one with a fan with a handlebar mustache on it. Silliness.
Let's see.
Hi, V.
Love to join
Up.
you for a pendulum magic tool talk, says Jonathan. There you go.
Made a note.
Oh, Beth is offering Jonathan her Deviant Moon deck. Butterfly Moore says, I bet that Waterstone's employee was into tarot. Yeah, probably. Because it was such a clever way to do it, so it was.
It's a really nice way to do it, so.
Yeah. I've only gotten into the Crans archetypes, right? Okay, so of all of Kim Crans' decks, you've only gotten into the round archetypes deck. I did the same thing regarding Pixie's signature, but with the CS Tarot Jumbo. Right, okay, so you could see it on that as well. Keep wanting to call her Kim Carnes. Betty Davis Tarot.
Betty Davis Tarot. And Kim Crans has a new deck coming out in the fall, I believe, or late. It's the final deck in the artwork that she's created. So, so I pre-ordered it.
Right, I might, just looking at the time, might try and finish this for finish the tag for half past and then spend a wee half hour on some reading Gerald. I mean, I really don't mind it.
Sounds
going
perfect.
late, but
I don't either. Okay. I'm retired.
Here. See. So you said you could do 3 more. So is that 2 more now? Yeah. Will that axe 2 off my list?
Did you actually make a list on your computer?
Oh no, I didn't do a list. Okay. I just mean I've got like a group here.
Okay, I'm like, dude, hashtag overachiever, man.
So hi Cordis, by the way.
My Santa Muerte. You and I did a deck casual on this.
We did.
Yes, and it is a sentimental deck for me because I was at the time working with a particular goddess, and in using this deck, it was the first time I ever, in shuffling the deck, I used this one for ancestors and talking to guides, and it was the first deck that I ever used where I picked it up and I immediately heard voices. I went clairaudience, and it was really incredible. So it opened up a new level of my reading style. So it's a phenomenal deck. I really appreciate it, not just for the images, but also for how I responded to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love the fact that deck is very. It doesn't do the Rider-Waite-Smith thing in terms of illustrating the pips. So I'm thinking particularly of cards like the tens, where they're all either some moth or butterfly. I think that's an absolutely stunning idea, because for me the tens should be about, change and transformation and moving on. Renewing, the cycle renews. So yeah, that is an absolutely stunning piece of work, that deck.
Yeah, and this has got one of my favorite towers in it.
Yeah,
it's
like
it's wow.
I just love how chaotic it feels, and that's, for me, that is a tower moment. Do you know what I mean? That's what a tower moment feels like for me. It's when everything feels like a the whole world seems topsy turvy.
Yes.
That's what gets me.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay. So moving on. So what I will do here, um, so although I'm strictly speaking, there's two decks that I'm not going to kind of go through and show you and stuff. I'm going to do a bit of an honorary mention because when in August when my gran passed away, um, I was really kind of touched because some of my friends in the tarot community, and can I just stress these are friends from overseas. These are people from the US, Gerald, your very good self included actually, who came together and put together what they called a box of love for me, just to make me feel just to make me feel a wee bit better when things
Hmm.
were kind of a difficult. So I've got there were three tarot decks in that box, and they are all in that in that on this list, in this category. But what I'll say, so we've got the pagan other worlds. I can't remember whether I've got permission to say who these are from and stuff, so I'm not going to mention names and stuff. But these two were very kind gifts from some really kind souls in the community, and it just made me feel kind of it was like a big warm hug in a box, basically. So for that reason, these are always going to feel extremely sentimental for me.
Hmm.
I think it's the most emotional that I've ever felt when I've received like a gift or something like that. Um, this is the third. And the reason that I've singled this one out is because not only was this a gift for that reason, but this is a handmade deck by our very own Justin Michael. So Justin made this deck himself. Not only did he make it himself, but he knows that I like to use my decks. He knows I like to riffle shuffle them. He knows they get well worn, used, and loved when I use them. So he made the deck on this kind of I think it's like premium playing card
Mm.
stock. So it's absolutely stunning. And this is for anyone that's interested. This is the Dodal version of the TDM, the Tarot de Marseille. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It was just, it was mind blowing, really,
Hmm.
receiving these gifts at that time.
Especially with it, it was made with intention of how you were going to use it, which is
Yeah,
especially wonderful.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that is my penultimate deck.
Very nice.
And these are the backs as well, guys.
Hmm.
So Gerald,
Um, well, everybody's people heard me talk about the transparent tarot. I'm not going to get it out, but the transparent tarot is a deck. If people watched my live last week with Ange, where we were talking about the transparent tarot deck casual, Emily Carding popped in for a little bit, which was a great treat. And it was then that I understood how sentimental this was for me, because before I found it, I was struggling with making because I always layer things in my life. I've always done this. I put this with that. I'm very alchemical or temperance. And this transparent tarot literally allowed me to layer the cards on top of each other and to see new things. And it was I saw it in a bookstore. I bought it. I did not, because at that time I didn't have all that much money. But so I ate ramen for the rest of the month. Uh, Cheap noodles, if you don't know what ramen
yeah,
is. Um, and so it really elevated and enhanced my reading style, because someone out there figured out, well, let's make it a transparent cardstock and then allow you to literally layer it. And so it just blew my mind.
yeah,
So,
that's stunning.
yes.
Okay. And my final deck, was that your final, Gerald, or have you got one more after that?
That can be the final because the other one is the Terror of the She, where I was playing with it and I trimmed it, and when I trimmed it, it made sense to me.
Right, okay. How have you
So
trimmed it, can I just ask?
I trimmed the sides.
Okay, very nice.
And yeah, and I understand that some people don't like that because it messed up the glyph.
Right,
I don't read the backs, I read the fronts, and it just worked out really well for me. So I think this was the second deck that I modified.
yeah. I am admittedly one of these people that if it F's it, what I would say is I don't think there's anything wrong with those backs the way they are. That wouldn't bother me at
Hmm.
all because it's even on both sides, and it still looks good. But if a trim job F's up completely the backs of the deck, it's going to really irritate the absolute fuck out of me. So it is. So I am, I'll tend to avoid I'll try and avoid trimming a deck if I know that's going to happen because I've never tried
Hmm.
rebacking a deck before. And I don't know if it's something that I can trust myself to do properly. So
Ooh.
yeah, the last one on my list, people, is so it's this, and this is the
Ooh.
Illuminated 2, and I think that's black bordered deck that stands for, and this is one of Carol Hertzer's decks.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, um, the reason this is a sentimental deck is because I think this was the very first gift I ever received from a friend on TarotTube. And it's just an absolutely stunning piece of work. You know what she's done with the kind of the light in this
Oh,
deck
wow.
is really, really powerful. And it still has that, obviously, those Rider Waite Smith images. So anyone could read this deck, as long as you're
Hmm.
familiar with Smith Waite. But yeah, it's just it adds a whole other level to it. So I'm trying to do this so you can see.
I really admire the images and the color of that Carol uses for those.
Yeah, yeah, she does a really stunning job. Um, and the person that gifted this to me, I'm not going to say who they are, but it's someone who I'm quite close to, and it just really means a lot because it's linked to that person.
Hmm.
And I love that it doesn't have titles as well. I do like that when a Smithwaite deck doesn't have titles. That's something that I kind of have a vibe with.
Hmm.
So yeah, lovely Ten of Cups card.
That's nice.
Okay, so let me quickly catch up with the comments. I do appreciate the time that it is, guys. So thank you so much for your patience while we've been getting through this. What I'll maybe try and do after the live is finished, I'll try and do some kind of a bookmarks. So is that if you're watching this back, then you can quickly find where we've done the tag and where we were
Mm-hmm.
just gabbing and where we'll do the readings. Just to make it a bit more kind of a just organized that way for people that are coming into this for specific reasons.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but first let's catch up with the lovely comments because they've been whizzing by and I appreciate I've not been the best at keeping up with them today.
I
Um,
appreciate people being willing to join us as we talk about our
yeah, it's been
sentimental
great,
tarot
hasn't
decks. Yes.
it? Liz is loving the Santa Muerte. Um,
Hmm.
V Kestrel say, "Oh hi V, by the way, I don't think I said hello to you. Oh
Hi,
gosh, I've never
V.
seen the cards for that before. Really nice images. Um, let's see, a box of love. That's really thoughtful. It was, and it. By the way, it was a massive box. That's why I
Hmm.
mentioned specifically that it came from the US because it was really thoughtful and they went to a lot of effort and just to kind of get this box over to me. And Gerald, do you mind if I say what you included in the box?
No, feel free.
So Gerald, it was like a handmade candle, wasn't it,
Hmm.
that you had put
Hmm.
in? And tell me what else you'd put in as well.
I believe I put some amber in, and the candle was specifically scented to honor ancestors. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about that, because grieving is really hard, and
Yeah.
the loss that we feel, it never really goes away. It changes, and so sometimes candle magic is really wonderful. And Jeffrey was all in to help with that as well.
Oh, that's really
So
sweet.
creating the candles, setting intention, and so it's there.
Yeah, it was really sweet of the both of you. It was really sweet of everyone that was involved,
Hmm.
and I really appreciated it. And what Gerald's saying about grieving, I don't mind sharing this. Like, I was actually at the cemetery, the graveyard, for the first time at the weekend there,
Mm.
um, seeing my gran, and that was surprisingly difficult because I'll chat away to my gran wherever I am. Do you know what I mean? I'm very much like, you don't need to be in a certain place to connect with a loved one. Do you know what I mean? They're all around us. They're everywhere. They're with us every step of the way. Um, so I'll chat away. If I see a TV program that my gran would have liked, or if I see a funny meme or something, that would have made my gran laugh, or I used to share like
Hmm.
memes. My gran was a devout Catholic, Roman Catholic, and so if there was like memes that slagged off like the church in a good natured way, I wasn't terrible about it. That I knew that she would be like, "Oh, that's terrible," and then she would have been laughing about it in the background. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Then I would have shared them with her. So whenever I see something like that, I always still kind of have a chat to my gran. But there was just something
Yes.
different about being in front of that grave that I had seen her be lowered down into and stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to chat away because it was sweet because my papa, my grand's husband, died when he died in 1992. So I was
Mm.
only two, maybe three. I'd have been two at the time when he died.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so it was funny. I was like, "Oh, this is the first time I've seen you two together in years." But
Aw.
then after that, I was trying to chat away, like, and it was when I was specifically talking to my gran, I found myself getting choked up and having to stop and start and stop and start.
Hmm.
So I mean, my gran passed away in August, and like I say, I've been chatting away to her ever since, and yet there is something that will just hit you, you know.
Yes.
So it's not something
Hmm.
that goes away. Grieving is a process.
Hmm.
And I suppose what I'm saying is my heart goes out to anyone that's going through a process like that.
Yes. Very much so.
Let me quickly catch up with these. So no, nothing specific at all. Oh, that's to Jonathan. I'm listening into conversations again, guys. Thanks, Beth. I'll go. Oh, no, doing it again. Liz says, I'm waiting for it to go down right now, but I would trade it for that one. So that was the one that Justin handmade. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. It's absolutely stunning. So it is. Um, all these popular decks I don't have. I don't have any Kim Kranz decks, says Jonathan.
No
Um,
judgment. Know your limits.
Diane,
Purchase responsibly. I mean,
I know.
seriously, because but Deanne is like, yeah, I
Yep.
totally need to like, I need to like, oh, here, I should do this real quick. I could do the evil too. Just get the dang deck. Mm. Girl, you know you want it. Why do you not have it? You are totally worth it. Make it happen. Do it. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he and I are going out for a beer tonight. Hmm.
yeah.
I'll make him ask for forgiveness. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, you'd be careful about that. It's not there is no forgiveness; it's there is no mercy. Um,
Ha!
with the
He's
Sith.
never met Taro Sachet, has he?
Well, that's true. I think he would get around for his money. Uh, so Deanne is shocked that Jonathan doesn't have any of Kim's decks. There are a lot of
Hmm.
popular ones I don't have, but I'm a Kim Kranz fangirl, Deanne says.
Hmm.
Let's say, so sneaky, you and Emily, such great surprise for the transparent Chazio.
It was amazing, and they were so nice. So I appreciated that.
See, So, oh yeah, Gerald, alchemical. I'm going to start using that to describe myself, says Deanne. We're loving the word alchemical.
Well, I'm glad Deanna's finally catching up with the way the rest of us are talking about her. Sheesh. Duh.
Deanne, what word would I use to describe Deanne? Um, it's hard to find a word that's so great that it would describe her.
Hmm.
Just fantastic in every single way, shape, and form, I
Hmm.
guess. Kind of like how the world card is really hard to describe in words because it's just so fantastic that it's beyond our
Hmm.
understanding. That's how awesome Deanne is.
And yes, and I would add to that it's emotion in motion, especially when she's dancing.
Yeah.
You don't need words.
Um,
I've never trimmed a deck. Mm.
yeah, too anxiety inducing. Once you do it once, Fee, I'm sure you'll be fine. List the reasons the decks
Love
have
this.
special meaning for you and keep the list with decks. Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
really cool. Um, Although I will say that's one thing I am really good at remembering. I can see a deck and then I'll pretty much instantly know if it was a gift. I'll know who bought it for me and when
Hmm.
and why and stuff. I'm good at remembering that. Um,
Hmm.
might not always remember the person's name. I might accidentally
Gerald.
call them something else. Yeah, I might accidentally call them Gerald, but I will remember.
Yeah, and Diane is actually when she's, I believe, when she's noting when she gets a deck. Hi, Richard. When she's doing that, she's writing down there who influenced her to purchase it. So I thought that was a really interesting thing.
Yeah. Richard would be pooping himself if he tried to trim a deck. Liz loves Tian the Alchemical. Uh, Never trimmed one before. I know I'd F up and be heartbroken. Tian says Gerald is very thoughtful, just have to say. So many thoughtful people here, says Diane.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yep.
all agreeing.
Sip,
Gerald
sip.
is very thoughtful, and you're so right, Gerald. The grief never goes away, it changes.
Mm-mm. It
Um,
does.
it changes, and then parts of it never change. It softens after a while, says Liz.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you are the devil and some deck, Gerald.
Yes, I recently got a nice mug from someone that that I'll be using tomorrow during Regina's live. That someone gifted to me that sort of looks like me.
Right,
Mm-hmm. Very
very nice.
nice. Tune in.
Corda says, thank you for your words and all that you've shared. Since joining this live, my heart has been getting warmer and warmer.
Aw,
That's really sweet.
thank you.
Liz says, Palpatine drag, someone should make a world card with Deanne in the centre. Yeah, they totally should. I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
endorse this.
Yes.
Um, Gerald and Jonathan, that's so lovely that you sent off, that you sent that box of love with everything. Very kind and healing. Yeah, Jonathan was involved in that as well.
Yep. There were
Okay,
lots of people with that too. It was beautiful.
there were lots of people. I'm putting the ticker on. We don't have any questions yet, Gerald. So, guys, if you've got any questions for the cards, then please pop them in the chat, and Gerald and I will have the pleasure of reading with each other, rather than just. Well, I'll have the pleasure of reading with Gerald rather than just myself, is what I'm meaning to say. Um,
I like reading with you, Chris. It's very enjoyable because you
thank
make me go,
you.
hmm, I hadn't thought of it that way, and that adds to my understanding of it. And it's like during the deck casuals when when I'm talking to someone and I hear them apply why they like a card or how they've looked at it, it
Yeah,
immediately gets filed away. I'm probably never going to remember who said it, but I am
yeah,
going to appreciate it.
yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So
Okay, what will we do? Will we do just a reading for the collective first, then, since we don't have any
yes.
questions yet? But I'm sure all these lovely people are typing away, getting ready with
Type
some
type.
nice
Ooh.
questions for us. Um, No, guys, don't worry if you don't. I'm not don't wanting to force
No.
anyone to, or I'm not wanting people to feel obliged if you're not feeling like
If you're not feeling
being
it,
read
don't worry
for.
about it.
I won't be picking people out of out of a hat or anything like that. I'll only read for people if they pop a question in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you do have a wee question for us, then please do pop it in. So, a general reading for the collective, shall we say for the weekend ahead, or
I
where are
think
we?
that's perfect. I like that for the weekend ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
look at you.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first. I'll let you.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm bigging myself just now, just so as that you can see the
Yeah.
card properly, guys. So we've got the Six of Pentacles, we've got the Star, and we've got the Two of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from this is the tough exterior that we're putting out is very kind of we're trying to get that balance to see how each of these cards, there's a scale in this one, there's the juggling idea and this. So it's like we're working and working and working away to try and get whatever it is, achieve that balance, get something right. We're worried about, um, all of those outside influences that we might kind of see in this card. So, for example, the ship, you've got the water. That's an influence that the ship just can't control. It's just got to kind of roll with the punches and see see where the wind takes it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all of those outside influences that we're wrestling with, and I feel as though there's maybe a wee bit of worry and perhaps a wee bit of anxiety about making this shit work. And in the beautiful centre, we have the star. Now, by contrast, this guy's very concerned about this scale. He wants to make sure that he gets it balanced just so. We've got this one who, he's kind of doing a juggling act, so he's very much focused on on the task. In the middle, we've got the star who has got her tatas out for the whole world to see.
Mm-hmm.
She's poured. Think about the temperance card, for example, and how the water's been poured very carefully from one vessel into the other. And then we have her. She's just like, fuck it. I am going to be
Mm-hmm.
free. I'm going to go for this. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to allow myself to soak up that those healing vibes and those hopeful vibes that we associate with the star card, and we're just going to go for it and see where we go. And I think that that is the key. You know, I am not saying, if you're a list maker, then by all means, do your lists, do your list of pros and cons. Have your stash tags, or have your mind maps, or do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel organized and yeah, organized, have things planned out. But at some point, you need to kind of say, right, okay, that I've planned what is plannable. Now I'm just going to kind of throw caution to the wind. I'm going to take some risks, and I'm just going to go for it. And that's the key as to how we get through whatever it is that we're trying to get through this weekend. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is what I've got. Now, Gerald, are you happy if I just put you on solo like this? Do you
Yeah.
need? Okay.
No, that's good. So the first card that I got was the sun. You had the star, and I
Very
have the
nice.
sun. And then we have, I got to do these the right way. And then we have the Four of Wands and the Two of Cups. So as I'm looking at this, my suggestion for the weekend is to actually go outside as best as you can, very practically to get some sun and to play a little bit, because we have the sun, yeah, a lot of enjoyment in that card, and going out and playing, and I think it's going to be windy. But the Four of Wands, there's a celebration where there's a wedding, and the fours create a beautiful container for the power of that suit. So we have this beautiful container for our creativity and this childlike approach. So going out, I really think we all need to get out and walk a little bit and enjoy the people around us that make us feel good. Let them know in in ways that they may not have heard for a while what you appreciate about them, how you love them, and you can be subtle about it. Little, little hand in the pocket sort of thing, if that's good for you. Bring a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, flowers, and it's the small things. So big power, shoring things up a bit, and adding the small things on top of it, which is this Two of Cups reminds me of your Six of Pentacles a little bit, because there's a balancing between those and how things go, but you also had the Two of Pentacles. So balance that Two of Pentacles with appreciation for someone.
Beautiful. I love it. I love how you got the sun, and the sun is a star. It's our star.
Yes.
So yeah, I just love when we synchronicities happen like that. I think that's absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
thank you so much for that, Gerald.
you're welcome. And then HOA is a homeowners association.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to know before I started reading for the question,
Mm,
because I thought that might be, that might be kind of important. So thanks
mm-hmm.
very much. Okay, so we do have a question from our very lovely Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan, for popping a question in for us. Um, so Jonathan asks, oh, I'm thinking because I've got it starred, I've also got it on the screen, but I don't. Um, how will me being on the board of the Homeowners Association change things for me? What do I need to watch out for? Oh,
Do you have jumpers?
yeah, but it was just me being clumsy, so
Oh.
they're going right back into the deck. Okay. If you're good to go, Gerald, I'm happy if you would like to go first.
Okay. I was just watching what you were doing to see what, if anything related. So I have two layers of answers. How will being on the board of the Homeowners Association change things for me? First card that I got is the scrying card. You need to be careful and look at things and be willing to um, trust your intuition. The strength card comes up, so you are going to need to be able to have enlightenment. We have the sun there, and this woman in that is walking pretty sure, but just like with anything, when you walk into it, you need to be careful of the hidden. I don't know why I'm saying. Well, I'm just going to say it. You need to be careful of the landmines that you don't know are there. So you do have to weigh things carefully and move assuredly forward. And what's also there is the Five of Cups. It's not going to be all fairy tales and rainbows and unicorns. It's actually going to be hard work, and Now you're going to get an inside slice of what's going on and why things were that way. What you need to pay attention to, phases of the, or it's the Wheel of the Fortune. There's going to be so much you can't even prepare for, and you don't know what's going to happen because that's the nature of the type of business. We have the Two of Swords. You're going to have hard choices to make, and you're not going to make people happy. Decisions are made because they have to go with the bylaws. And if you need to change the bylaws, then that's something different. So you've been put on that to balance that. We have the Queen of Pentacles. It is important for you to be quietly, you don't have to get up in arms and shout, but you do have to look for the long term. There is a maturity about the Queen of Pentacles as it relates to actually the home. This is a great card for an HOA. And looking at this in the sense of sometimes it's tough love that is needed. I'm going to continue to look at this to see if there's anything else, Chris. So
No worries.
I don't know
Sorry,
if
I
that
had
helped.
myself on
Yeah.
mute there.
No, that's okay. I don't know if that helps, Chris.
Definitely. I think my reading is definitely kind of a matching up with yours. So the way that I've done this, and let me just pop Jonathan's question quickly back on the screen, because it's kind of got two arms to it. It's how will it change things for me, and what do I need to watch out for? So there was kind of a two questions within the question. So what I've done here is card one, how will this change things for you? Card two is what you need to watch out for. Card three is an advice card, just a general advice card for the entire situation. And then card four is, what I generally pull is the kind of outcome card, if you want to call it that. If we continue on the path that we're on now, where are we going to end up?
Mm-hmm.
So as to how things are going to change, I have to agree with Gerald's reading a lot. Like it was resonating with the cards that I feel that I've pulled. I do see this bringing a lot of conflict into your life, Jonathan, that you don't currently have. Now, I know that you're quite an empathic person, quite a sensitive person, and I don't mean that in a oh he's a sensitive soul. He can't take intense situations. I don't mean it like that at all. What I mean is that you're sensitive to other people's emotions. You pick up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think that you really need to be careful and guard yourself if you're going into this because I'm really picking up on that. I hesitate to use the word toxic because I don't want to say that it's that, but it just feels very kind of you know, everyone's got an agenda. And sometimes it takes a no nonsense step back and look at the situation to determine, right, okay, what is the bigger picture here? What is it that we're trying to do? And perhaps not let individuals with their own agendas kind of take the reins and take it off in a direction that doesn't benefit the collective being all of the homeowners. Okay, something to watch out for. We've got justice. Okay, so there is the tendency to, and this is why I mentioned that you're an empath and you're quite sensitive. There perhaps might be a tendency to kind of get swept away with different people's kind of perhaps different forceful people's opinions on what should be happening and stuff like that. I feel like justice is saying to you, balance and that bigger picture kind of a um that viewpoint that I was mentioning before, that's something that you're wanting to focus on. That's something where you want to take extra care. It's that kind of if you think you've checked it, then check it again. Make sure that everything is fair and equal for everyone, and that everything that's happening, you know, does serve the greater collective. Um, so that is something that I would ask you just to kind of always have one eye on that, Jonathan. Just given that that's come up for you, okay. And kind of I suppose in tandem with that, what is the advice? We have these opportunities opening up that perhaps that might be quite easily missed. You know, not only do we have the fourth cup that we generally have in this card, but we have all of these kind of interdimensional wormhole type things opening up in the sky all around about him. It puts me in mind of the is it the Spider-Man film, where Doctor Strange kind of spoiler, but Doctor Strange kind of tries to alter his reality, tries to alter Peter Parker's reality in order to make people forget that he's Spider-Man and take him back to a time before they knew. But what he actually ends up doing is he opens up all these wormholes that lets Peter Parker's and people from other realities that do know that he's Spider-Man come through. So there's all this stuff going on around about you. And the way that the mindset that you're in is to keep an eye on, the here and now, the everyday stuff. And whilst that is absolutely important to do, I want you to be conscious every now and then to kind of just have that kind of a metaphorical look around you. Um, and say, right, okay, are there any opportunities that are perhaps being missed here? It might be in the form of, a member of the board who doesn't tend to speak up, that people don't tend to listen to. It might be saying, right, well, Bob, what do you think about the situation? If there's conflict and we can't seem to be coming to an answer, what does Bob think? Bob, I'm going to put you in the spot here. What's your opinion? It might be something we like that, or it might be something daft that you come home after a long day and Apollo says something that just that clicks with you. You're like, that's just giving me an idea. So always be open to those wee opportunities around about you. For the outcome card, I do have the Five of Pentacles. So to be honest with you, Jonathan, the path that we're on right now, I don't necessarily see you doing this for the long-term foreseeable future. I think that it might be something that you realize perhaps isn't for you, unless something big changes. I feel like it's something where you're going to decide, you know what, this isn't for me, either because there's too much conflict in the situation. There's maybe someone else who can deal with that side of it and kind of wrangle that side of it in a wee bit better than I. But I don't see it being a kind of a long-term thing. I do see it having an end point. So that could be a positive or a negative, I suppose. Take that as you will. Um, so yeah, those are that's what I think, Jonathan.
And it looks like Sexy Chat was back, and Jonathan and Justin took care of it. So
Oh, hi, sexy chat. Let me
yeah.
see.
And I would also say, Jonathan, suddenly with this, before you were on it, there was an us and them, but now you're the them when you're on the board. So that's a significant change for you as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Have you got any other thoughts? Just based on mulling over your reading a wee bit more, Gerald.
No, I think they related pretty well, pretty closely, because it's confusing. And you had the Four of Cups, and I had the Five.
Yeah. No, we
And
both had fives. Yeah, that was quite cool.
yeah, so
Okay. Um, I saw a comment there that I wanted to highlight. It wasn't that one though. I think it's further down.
because you did have a
Yeah,
question from someone.
I do. Yeah, from Cordis. I'm going to come
Mhm.
on to that in just a second. Do you know what it is? Jonathan had made comments. So yeah, Liz says a lot of awful politics on homeowners association boards. Jonathan says, yep, and the role lasts 3 years for my homeowners association. It's something I'm not sure I should have gotten myself into. Um, I mean, you might surprise yourself, Jonathan. Absolutely,
Mhm.
this is based on the path that you're on right now. But I mean, everyone has their own opinions on this, and I'm not trying to dictate how this stuff works or anything, or how you should believe this stuff works. But for me, the future, there's many different kind of branches that are open to us in terms of the future, and which branch we take depends on the choices that we make.
Mhm.
Depends on other stuff as well. There's some stuff that's so big it's just out with our control. That's to me like the Wheel of Fortune. That's the chaos of the world. It's Fortuna. When she turns that wheel, there's hee haw. There's fuck all that you can do about it. But so those things do affect it too. But in a lot of the time, the future is dependent on the choices that we make. So one potential choice that you could make is, well, do you know what? This might not be something that I'm particularly proficient at right now, but by fuck, I'm going to get good at it. That's if there's one thing I'm going to do this
Hmm.
year, this is going to be my project. This is going to be my big thing,
I'm going to
you
do it.
know.
Hmm.
So it really just depends on your mindset and your kind of the choices that you make, and particularly, the choices that where we choose to kind of transform ourselves, I think have a really big impact on, what branch of that future that we might take, what fork in the road we take.
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay, and Justin, did I see Justin?
Yeah, I just saw that he popped in and took care of the
Oh,
sexy chat.
he'd ixnayed
So he's probably
the old
working.
sexy chat for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin, and it's lovely to see you. Um,
Hmm.
okay, Cordis, where are you? Where are you, lovely Cordis? So, would it be wise to start sharing my work with tarot, magic, and art with the public publicly, aka social media? Bearing in mind that I'm a very private and almost too self-aware a person. Okay, so I'm going to read that again. Would it be wise to start sharing my work with the tarot, magic, and art publicly, i.e., on social media, bearing in mind that I'm a very private and almost too self aware person? Okay, let's have a wee look.
Well, I can say that there's a lot of ways to do it. You don't ever have to show your face. You can create different, you can create a channel and not link it to anything else that you do.
Yeah,
So you can pay no attention to that person behind the curtain, as they say in The Wizard of Oz.
please don't apologise for lurking, Justin. Absolutely,
Hmm.
the lurkers are, they
Lurkers are
make the live as
perfect.
well. So,
Yes.
I just wanted to say thanks. I know you'd help me out uh, with the old sexy chat. You'd help me out with some sexy chat.
Oh.
Woohoo! Yay! Right, okay. And by the way, before we start reading, Cordis does say, by the way, please don't spare my feelings. Brutal honesty.
All
So
right.
they're quite open for us to be brutally honest. If the reading calls for it, I guess.
Okay. I'm doing a yes and no spread about this
Okay.
because I can get more information, but I will get a clear yes, do this or don't do this. So gonna be live to start sharing.
Yeah. I'm poised and ready, but I'm happy if you want to go first.
You can go.
Okay. Okay, Cordis. Um, what I'm going to say is I think the time is right. Okay. I can see where you are just now reflected in this Eight of Swords. Okay. You perhaps feel kind of a boxed in, almost like, the whole situation, the stuff that is beyond your control, like the attitudes of other people and that kind of a thing. The stuff that you can't control, that's almost like an algorithm that's just like, like absolutely not, I can't do this.
Hmm.
I can see that in there. What I would say to you is sometimes that Eight of Swords, we can we're actually limiting ourselves, rather than other people putting the limitations on us. We're limiting ourselves when we're in this type of situation. There's actually, swords card, right? We've actually got two swords cards here, so there's actually a very kind of a logical solution. I mean, Gerald just suggested one right off the bat. You don't ever need to show your face, or you can just start off by not showing your face and then see where it takes you. But there's quite often a very kind of a logical solution right in front of your face. Okay, so she's kind of tied up with a ribbon here. There's actually a solution right in front of her that could free her and let her walk on. Okay. Now I appreciate that that's a lot of the time, that's so much easier said than done. You might say to me, right, okay, well, you're telling me that it's easy. I can just free myself on those swords and just walk off. But each one of those swords represents, my thoughts, my intellect. It's something special to me. How do I walk on and actually take those swords with me is what I actually want to do. Okay, so it might not be as kind of a as the point that I'm making is it's quite often easy to say that, and sometimes it can be easier said than done. But often, what it means, one way or the other, is there is a solution there. Okay, um, the advice card that we have is the judgment card. Okay, so it's time for that transformation. When I think judgment, I think the phoenix being reborn, or I think of like the dead rising, the final judgment, everyone's rising up at the end of the day, to hearken a new day coming in. Or being unplugged from the matrix. If you're a matrix fan,
Hmm.
that idea of being unplugged to the matrix and suddenly becoming aware of this whole new world that's all around about you that you just never knew existed. Okay, it's time for you to kind of to take that that mask off, or unplug yourself from that matrix and realize, like, I think that there's actually some real, I mean, major card, and it's the only major card in the spread. You've got some real potential to do great things if you do put yourself out there. Okay, what I really love this King of Swords for the outcome, because what's nice about that is, so quite often, I mean, for me, the reason that I'm not completely out of the tarot closet, if you want to call it that, is because I'm worried about what my friends, and I mean, I did a maths degree. Do you know what I mean? I did maths at uni. So I'm a lot in
Hmm.
my friend group. I'm surrounded by people who are very kind of logical, scientific, atheists, that kind of a thing, who would really, the thought of, I, my worry is that I wouldn't get the chance to explain. It's more than just future casting. It's more than just, oh, I think I can see the future. And I'm not dissing anyone who does identify as psychic or anything like that. But my worry is that I wouldn't be able to kind of explain, right? Okay, well, that's not the only thing that it is. Fortune telling is great fun, by the way.
Hmm.
But it's not the only thing that it is. It's more than that. It's actually, it can be a conversation with yourself. It can be a mirror. There's a whole host of ways that people use cards. So for me, that's my worry, is that people would see me as, you know, a fortune teller, I guess.
Yes.
And the environment that I'm in, that might not be well received. And so I can relate to you if you're having those same kind of trepidations, if you're having those same worries, but the outcome is the King of Swords. So the way that people are seeing you after this kind of a judgment moment, it's not like, the wee outcast, lady that reads cards in the corner that everybody thinks is just a wee bit weird, that we don't go too near her. It's not that at all. It's someone who's wise. It's someone who they can go to for counsel, for advice on different things. I mean, when you think of King of Swords, think about what that embodies. You know, that is the ultimate kind of if you've got a very logical, down to earth problem, you go to this guy for help. If it requires intelligence, if it requires addressing the facts, looking at the situation as it is, and seeing a way forward, this is your person. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't think everyone, like, people are necessarily going to see you like a lawyer or something, like we would necessarily see the King of Swords the King of Swords as. But I think it's just making the point that, the image that it's going to create of you is potentially very, very different from the outcome that you're projecting in your mind. Okay, so short answer is yes, I think that you should go for it. And I'm going to hand over to the very lovely Gerald.
Okay, so I got more yes than no matched with the Queen of Wands. And I love this Queen of Wands, back to what I was saying. The idea of is this, people don't need to know always what you're doing. You can do it as a superhero. So that idea of just you have an online persona, which could be exactly who you are offline. You just don't mix them. So, and this Queen of Wands is someone who is really taking charge and is inspiring. So this is a very strong positive. We have paired up, we have Strength and the Lovers. You need to persevere through the things that might be a struggle for you, but these are two major arcana, and the Lovers, you could find the people you've been looking for, the ones that are going to support you. And you could be the channel that helps somebody else. And it would be a shame for that light not to be out there. But these are both pretty joyful. We've got the Four of Wands and the Five of Wands. So yes, this is a process. There are lots of people who are going to help you, who can help you do that. But once you get into it, you're going to have disagreements with people. People may not like what you do. Use your strength to be able to get through that. Um, that is a natural thing. Anytime there's creativity, it can certainly be challenging. And um, so there's that. The other thing is, I like this pair together because we have the Hermit and we have the Five of Pentacles. The thing that I would remind you is you are not alone in this journey if you don't want to be. The Hermit oftentimes goes and searches themselves, and the Five of Pentacles is sitting outside cold. All they need to do is get up and walk around the corner and go in where it's warm. So you're not on this journey by yourself. Allow people to help you. The community would like to celebrate you. And the Hermit is your card. Okay. The Hermit is my card too. And so I pay very close attention to that. Uh, so there is this feeling a lot of times that you have to do it alone, and you don't. This is about community. The Lovers is about finding people who support you. Have you ever been to a parade? Have you ever been to a pride parade? Because let me tell you, everybody's loving everybody for just the heck who they are, and it's quite a bit of fun. But I have to tell you, Chris, I really love the idea of the superhero. It's Clark Kent, um, Wonder Woman. In their everyday life, people go to work, and here I am. I'm doing my daily work, but when I go home, I help change the world. I do
Yeah,
magic, and people don't need to know it. It's none of their
yeah,
business unless you want it to be their business. You're not taking out. I don't think you're taking out a billboard to say, "Hey, I'm out of the magic and tarot closet." You don't have to do that. Just do it.
yeah. You can do it at a pace that's right for you.
hmm And let us help you when you are having this feeling of isolation. Ask for help. We like to build you up, and because there's going to be things that you like to do and some people don't like, and everybody gets hate. Well, people have an opinion that is different than mine, and they let me know. And when you're doing a live, sexy chat will show up. I just look at sexy chat is ooh, wow. I'm on YouTube because sexy chat has popped in my live. Woohoo!
We can all do a wee bit of sexy chat every now and then.
Well, yes. Yes, we can. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I hope that was helpful, Cordis. Okay, okay. Gerald, do you want to quickly? I mean, I think that's us kind of reached a natural stopping point. We don't have any more questions.
hmm
I want to thank everyone who's been here in the chat.
It's lovely.
Keeping the chat going because the chat has been scrolling away. Whilst we've been reading and stuff. Um, let's see. So Regina's saying hi to Justin because she's working and getting pulled away and stuff. Justin is cooking wings and steak. Lovely. For my lunch today, we went to Miller and Carter Steakhouse, and I had mac and cheese with pulled barbecue beef through it,
Yum.
and it was delicious. Um, let's see. Justin says, I recently integrated my tarot life with personal Facebook. I just stopped caring. I do get some dumb comments, but nothing crazy.
Hmm.
So sometimes you build it up in your head, don't you? And but
Well,
that's
I
not to
know
say
I
that. I
do.
mean, yeah, that's not to say that there will be people out there who do need to be careful. Depending on how conservative the place is that they live. For example, that might be one reason why you need to look into these things. So
Hmm.
obviously, you know, always take into consideration that stuff. But I think the trick is knowing when there are genuine limitations that are being placed on you from outside, and knowing when it's self-limitation. Do you know what I mean? So, for example, for me, I know that it's self-limitation because I don't, there's no reason why I can't, but I kind of I overthink and I think, oh, that person will say that, and that's not an outside imposed limitation because that's just me overthinking in my head and
Yes.
thinking that person's going to say that, you know. So that's an example of what I mean when I say that.
Hmm.
Um, Justin says, hope hosting a TDM practice
Oh,
group. If
yes,
anyone
he
wants
is.
to pop in, message me on Facebook for the link. Definitely send Justin a message. I will be heading to my bed shortly after we finish up here, so I won't pop into that, Justin. But hopefully I'll be around for the next one, and I hope you have an amazing time.
Hmm.
So that's 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Is that what EDT stands for?
Yes.
Yeah, I realized I just made that up in my head there, and I was like, oh, I hope
That's
that's what
good.
I mean.
That's great. See? See, you're connected. It's awesome.
I do have tarot cards in front of me. Do you know what I mean?
Are you a magic person?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
There you
Um,
go.
right, people, I'm going to say one last time, please go and subscribe to Gerald's channel. Please go and subscribe to James's channel. You just saw me riffle shuffling a Carol Hertzer deck, so you know that I will come and I will riffle shuffle all your precious decks into one big pile. If you don't, so make sure that you do. Um, and Regina's new channel as well. That's right. Remember, Regina's got a new channel. What's it called, Gerald? Tell us
It's
again.
called Conversations with Regina.
There we go. So everyone make sure that you go and subscribe to that. Gerald, have you got
Hmm.
anything coming up that you want to share with us?
Conversations with Regina tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, Friday the 20th, Beneficial Tarot and I are on Ron Unconditional Love's channel. I have something going on Saturday at noon Eastern. I have yet to get details about it. And then a deck casual with Joe from Behind the Veil for the Murder of Crows Tarot. I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
So, and then more
amazing.
stuff. So, yeah.
That's great. That sounds really good. I just wanted to quickly share this. Cordis is who we read for last and says, honestly, I'm not sure how to respond because I'm trying to process everything, but I hope that you get my love and friendship to the both of you. So that's
Hmm.
absolutely fine, Cordis. There's no need for instant comment or any comment at all, really. Um, but thank you very much for sharing the love and the friendship. That's really
Hmm.
sweet of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Um, Okay, as for me, what do I have coming up? I've got so it's Mariel study group time.
Very
So
nice.
we'll be meeting on Sunday on Zoom at 4 p.m. British summertime, British summertime
Yes.
BST, which is 11 a.m. Gerald's time EDT.
Hmm.
And I'll let you, that's the Eastern time, so I'll let you work out what time that is for you.
Hmm.
Everyone is welcome if you want to pop in. We basically will be going through the fives in the Mariel Tarot group,
Nice.
and we will be pulling some cards and practicing as well. So that's on Zoom on Sunday at 4 p.m. UK time, and it's also next week on YouTube. I'll be doing my during my usual live slot. I'll be doing the Mariel Tarot group.
Mm.
So that's the plan. Unless I get somehow take not well again, which isn't completely impossible at this stage, guys, because it's it's been a journey. I hate
Yes.
that word. I hate using that word.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it has though. Um, so yeah, that's what I've got coming up. Oh, and I've also got the very lovely Kristen Louise coming on my channel, who's going. We're going to chat about her
Do
deck.
you? That's
I
great.
do.
I
So
love
that I
that.
think that's the week after that I've got that. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Kristen's deck. Um, oh geez, oh, what is the name of it? Can you remember?
Star.
Something rune oracle, isn't it?
I went
Oh, I'm
blank.
such a bad person. Feel so bad.
No,
There we
no,
go. The
no.
Star Rune Oracle.
Okay.
The Star Rune Oracle by Kristen Louise Pantel. So we're going to be chatting about
Hmm.
this, and this is an Oracle deck that's based on the runes, the Norse
And I
runes.
think, are you going to be her first live discussion about it?
I think so. I believe so.
Oh, you
Unless
got
you
the.
get in there with one of your redeck casuals first, then yeah, I
No,
believe it
no,
will be.
no. No, no, no. I would not do that to you, Chris.
I wouldn't be in the least bit offended if you did. So, if you and Kristen decide to do a deck casual and there's a day that works for you before that, then please know that
No,
you have
there's
my
not. I
blessing.
don't have the deck. I don't have the deck yet.
Okay,
So
cool. So, right, guys, that's everything. I think that we will love you and leave you there. Um, Liz says lies. There is no British summer. Well, to be fair, that's true. Um, okay. Take care, everyone. I'll hopefully see you all soon. And once again, thank you very much, Gerald, for your lovely company tonight.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. So
Bye, everyone.
bye.